Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outback Quarterback Podcast for another week in a very different-looking Muscle Catch Studios. Kurt, your QB3 here. We've got QB1 Doss on the couch. We've got QB2 Hawley right next to him. Boys, how do you feel on the couch together, looking sharp?
Comfy.
Comfy?
Very comfortable.
Yeah?
Thank you, Kurt. Yeah.
That's good.
Come
Doss?
a long way from the wooden stool with no back support on it.
That's
down
right.
at
He's-
Plagas Arena.
That's right.
That's classic.
Are you comfortable sitting next to Chris for this long? Seeing how he prepares for the show and getting an insight into his laptop screen?
I'm not comfortable because I'm embarrassed now. I used to like being on my little side and I can type away and research what I need to research as the podcast is going, but now Doss knows exactly what he's reading. He's copying my notes. I don't like this.
I don't think he's copying your notes, mate. He'll also see all the little things that you Google during the show and all the distractions.
Joke of the week's
How
already
I'm
been
doing my
Googled.
work emails.
Ordering Ubers.
Well, yeah, I've done that now. I think it should be set. So
Well, look, we must say we soft-launched producer James last week on the show when he observed, and in a week he's done a mountain of work. Jim, go to the wide shot and say hello to the people on the screen. There he is.
There we go.
There's Jim. Now, boys, for years I've been saying, I've got Kansas City connections. That's why I like the Chiefs,
Here
right?
we go. This is
James is the Kansas City kid. He was one of my friends that was born in Kansas City. So one of them does exist. It's not a full claim to the Chiefs from
where did
my
you guys
perspective.
become friends?
In Adelaide.
Yeah, when? old were you?
1990.
2017.
90,
Oh, just
5?
yeah,
95. Yep.
sure. Good
But
friends.
James is a true Chiefs fan.
Oh, well, that's what I was kind of getting at.
Yeah.
Kurt just jumped on the bandwagon again.
The Mahomes draft.
Standard.
Well, all I wanted to prove is that one of them does exist. I didn't just make them up. So there you go. But thanks, Jim. You've done a great amount of work to make this place look cool. And we've got the lights going. It's
know.
under pressure. It's like Friday night footy in here under lights.
It's
Just-
cool.
Yeah. You feeling the pressure, Holly?
No, not really.
I don't know. You seem pretty relaxed.
Because if I stuff up, you just edit it out.
Well, not really.
You're going to leave it in.
We're
'Cause
gonna
we
try
usually
and do
edit
this-
out all of your mistakes.
See, we've got the tired joke funeral coming up later in this show. I think that's what we might put in there. I
Does-
haven't edited
does-
out my mistakes for about.
Does James
years.
get to vote on that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure.
'Cause I feel like he'd be more on your side than ours.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I wasn't going to have him in. We can just do the three because
Yeah,
that works
cool.
nicely.
Because Doss and I will probably keep all the jokes in.
I have a feeling there's one Doss
There'll
will
be
be
strong
on, be on
vetoes.
board.
A scary Terry joke might be out.
All right. Boys, RedZone. RedZone was back yesterday. It was a Scott Hansen special. There was furor, Doss, leading into the RedZone week about adverts being on our
fine.
sacred
Well, I
show.
laid
I didn't even
those,
notice them.
concerns on Sunday. Scott Hansen did his tweet, and I put that up
Yeah.
on our Instagram. And the only ads that we had...
I love that there's physical touch involved
That
now.
would be a lot
Now
of
we
it.
got now we got contact, and the only ads were
Contact.
the little borders
Yeah.
around during gameplay.
Because
They're
the-
hardly ads.
Didn't even Hansen's tweet said that they would be
Only
there'll be
4 of
full
them or
15-second
something?
ads.
Yeah.
That was it.
Nothing.
And then none in the witching hour.
Yeah. No, I
Uproar.
thought it was good.
Whatever.
And then there was a behind the scenes posted on Insta did you see that of Hansen when he was like going around to the producers and the computer and he's got his like roaming mic and he's not always behind the desk. He doesn't
Oh, I
stand
didn't
behind the
see
desk
that
the whole
bit.
time. It's pretty cool.
Be in the group, like, guys, can we get back to this one? Guys, that'd be fun doing.
Yeah,
that.
and he's pumping guys up constantly. Like he's the most positive dude you've ever met. I don't know how he gets his energy. Someone asked how many bumps does it take for him to be that up.
What's a bump?
Don't know. What is it? What's a bump?
I'm not sure.
Google it. Now that you can Google
Okay.
live. Boys, of course, this episode is brought to you by our incredible sponsors, 4 Bros Coffee. I had one before. Sorry, Doss, I forgot to get you one today, but 4broscoffee.com.
So coffee lasted 1 week, Holly,
Well, you complained last week. Remember, I gave it to you and you
I
complained
one
because
last
it was
week.
cold.
because you were late, Doss.
I
Remember that?
was not late. I was on time.
You were late and you admitted it on the
I was-
show.
Okay, I was like 4 minutes late.
That's
Today
late.
I was
That's
early.
late.
Today I was 2 minutes early. 6:58.
6:59 you rolled in here. But anyway,
Oh,
4broscoffee.com.au. Code OUTBACK for 15% off. We've been going through it at a rate of knots. The Dawn blend is almost gone here. The shortbread's almost gone. We need to reorder. They got the whiskey, they got the peanut butter, they got choc fudge. I can't wait to get into the rest of it. It has been keeping me going through some early RedZone mornings. I had 2 by the late window start yesterday, Doss. So 4 Bros Coffee, it's seriously good stuff. It's not just pods. They've got grinds, beans, all sorts. Code OUTBACK for 15% off. And then Coast and Smoke. Behind you, Hawley, you've got the rubs there. We've got just 3 of the, I think there's at least 12 flavors I've counted. The Coast and Smoke hat, which I was thinking about wearing today, Doss. It's a cool looking hat.
It is.
Yeah. There's one for you too.
I like
You
a
guys did.
t-shirt.
Thanks.
We can get one.
All right.
I'll wear it on here.
I'll speak to Troy and Claire, but a great family business taking the barbecue rub world by storm. Torquay, Victoria, 10% off. Code OUTBACK. And we saw a few of our lucky listeners got some Coast and Smoke for Father's Day. Shawnee Williams sent through a
Sean
message.
Williams big full rack of the rubs, which was good.
Mm.
Didn't use our code, which was
Yeah, I messaged them just to say, hey, by the way, this sale was from us, just so you know. But coastandsmoke.com.au, code Outback. And the last little thing, boys, the Suburban Brew. We talk about our friends at the Suburban Brew constantly. The Goodwood branch, do you call it a branch? Pub, venue, Goodwood. It's their 5th birthday this weekend. Celebration. They've got the Glory Jays playing, and they're launching a new beer at the Suburban Brew Goodwood just for the occasion, a strawberry pastry stout, which sounds decadent, Dos. So if anyone's in the area, or even if you're not, head down to the Suburban Brew Goodwood this Saturday night for their 5th birthday
Dos is a big
celebration.
stout man, aren't you, Dos?
not a huge stout.
It's
I
not
do
huge.
like the Reggie's pizza though from
The pizza was good.
Goodwood
Yes.
Suburban Brew.
Okay.
That was very good.
Good food,
Deep dish.
good beer, good people. Troy's a good man, runs
Yeah.
the venue down there, and Tony at Glyn. So support the Suburban Brew. That's how you support this show. The other way is to hit subscribe, of course, Dos. You hit subscribe on YouTube now that we are a full YouTube TV production. All right, let's get into some game reviews. We've got our classic song to return, the classic rapid run through, and we're doing that in just a second. All right.
What time are you boys up, by the way? I saw
time's
you
up?
posted very early on Instagram.
Well, I woke up at 2:30 and couldn't get back to sleep. So I watched the first quarter of all those games. Then I fell asleep and was back up at 5.
You know what? I woke up at about 2:50, couldn't get back to sleep, and I watched like probably 2 to 3 hours.
You,
Wow.
And
you were
then-
very early because you were straight into the Danny. You were
Oh,
in the
I
Colts
was
Dolphins
filthy
games
with Danny
really
J.
early.
And then I did the same thing, went back to sleep, and woke up at about 7.
So we're going to be experts on the first half of the early window and
I
the
remember.
second half of the late window.
Missed a lot of the middle section of the day.
All right, Jimbo, let's get us going. Thursday, we've got the game run through song as that's loading up. Thursday night football was Cowboys and Eagles. That seems like a long time ago now, Dos. There we go.
It does.
Cowboys 20 at Eagles.
It was a long game with
24.
a 1 hour storm delay.
was
in
a long game.
Not the only game that had a storm delay in it either.
No, it wasn't. It was action-packed too. In the first 6 seconds of the season, boys, we had an ACL tear and Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. Now, was there a second spitter? It's like JFK all over again. There was
Dak
to-
spat first, right?
Did
On
he
the
spit?
ground. On the
Yeah.
ground is what they're saying. Too close to the Philly huddle.
What's your review on that, Christopher?
Oh, you can spit where you want if it's not on somebody.
But do
I
you
don't
think he was...
if he looked at him, if he looked at the Philly huddle and went and
Yeah.
spat towards them, then yeah, it still doesn't warrant someone spitting on you.
on your
That's
chest?
that's next level.
It was extraordinary.
Yeah.
It was an extraordinary start. The box score, boys, if you looked at it, you would have thought guys like CD Lamb had a great game, and they did to a point. He had 110 yards until the costly drops.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, 2, 3 of them, Dos? It was
At least
at least two, and one.
well, four for the game.
Yeah, three for the game, 2 in the last quarter for CD. And they really did cost the Cowboys in the end. And for the Eagles, whilst they didn't get going, it was a familiar Jalen Hurts performance, 2 touchdowns on the ground, lots of power, lots of control. And it was a win that said, hey, we can do it, even when our star wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, combined for a total of 24 yards. I mean, that's an impressive win to get when those guys only have that.
Oh, it just goes to show that the talent on the Philadelphia Eagles roster. The concern, though, still for me, and as I said at the start of the season, the Eagles secondary, it is thin behind Quinion Mitchell. He actually didn't have a great game.
Got burned a
Quinion
couple of
Mitchell.
times.
Yeah, he wasn't great. Adoree Jackson really got targeted, and that was some of the question marks I had. But look, hey, they got the win, divisional win. They move on to the Super Bowl rematch this weekend.
Speaking of divisional games, Friday night football in Brazil. The Chargers defeated the Chiefs 27-21. Oh, they're celebrating, but they
How
weren't on
good,
screen.
fellas,
Save
how
it for the
good.
transition voice. Justin Herbert has started the new year with a bang. 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and clutch throws all around Corinthians Arena in Sao Paulo. They beat a Chiefs team that looked solid enough on offense. The Mahomes and Hollywood Brown connection was a highlight. And in the preview last week, boys, I said, I think maybe Herbert might get let loose and throw the ball a little more, and he was allowed to do that this time. He looked good. And if he continues like this, Dos, I mean, boy, oh boy, your predictions about the Chargers are about to come true.
Oh, he looked great. I said before the game on Insta, this was a statement game for Justin Herbert. He went down into Brazil and delivered. Offensive line with no Rashawn Slater played very well, I thought. The way that they kept out the Kansas City Chiefs pass rush was excellent. Joe Alt, my goodness me, he just had his way. He could do whatever he wanted.
Don't talk to me about tackles, Dos.
just
because
holding-
Juwan Taylor.
Juwan Taylor. Want to get
Goodness
into
me.
him?
There's a couple of penalties.
Well, no, I
Only
set,
4.
I set the over-under at
Only
6
4.
as a joke, and he had 4. He's never watched a game of football in his life, that guy. What's he doing?
It's tough when the refs aren't on your side, isn't
Josh
it?
Simmons, couple
Shut up,
penalties, Hawley. Kurt.
Hey?
Josh Simmons, a couple of penalties as well.
I'm not
I
even
mean,
worried
rookie,
about that. It's his first game. Taylor's
That-
been around for 8 years.
Yeah, I know. Did.
Goodness me.
I think the Chargers were coached well. I think everyone was expecting a run onslaught. And Herbert just came out going bang, bang, bang. It surprised everyone. Commentators were surprised. We were surprised watching it. And the Chiefs would have been surprised. Andy Reid would not have expected them to rely so heavily on Justin Herbert's arm. And I think that's what probably got them going in the first place. I think as the season goes, if Harris and Hampton are both fit, then we'll see the run game relied on a little bit more. But I think on the weekend, for a game like that against the Chiefs, where they were expecting to be run against and they weren't, it really worked in the Chargers' favour.
Very happy for Quentin Johnson as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking
Huge.
good.
Yeah,
Looking very
they
good.
look good.
Might be his one and only good game.
I hope not.
Nah, he showed a bit more towards the end of last.
Quentin
last year.
Johnson, Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey, and all of a sudden you've got a nice pass catcher group there for Justin
We
Herbert.
know who doesn't have a nice pass catcher group. Is Patty Mahomes.
Yeah,
Tyquan-
outside of Brown, it was,
Tyquan Thornton is
Tyquan
his.
Thornton was it?
He got loose. He got deep.
did.
He got loose
Oh.
and deep a couple of times and just got overthrown. So, mate, he could have ended up with 120 and 2 TDs. Patty just missed him.
Hollywood Brown showed up.
He did.
I mean,
well, he's the only guy they've got, isn't he?
Well, he was in that game. Yeah, losing
Kelsey's done, mate.
Worthy with the dislocated shoulder.
yeah, it's
Brutal.
trouble. We need Ross back big time.
Yeah.
We still got the music going there, Jimbo. We tend to blow out our game review times when the music stops. We talked about that one for about 4 minutes. The Dolphins 8 at the Colts 33. This was the early window, so you would have been up for the
I
early
was watching
onslaught.
this. Very
Goodness me.
excited.
I mean, there's always week 1 surprises. We've not been hot on the Dolphins in the offseason, we must say that.
No,
but
I've been
we were
hot on the Dolphins for the last 18 months.
We were cold, particularly yourself, Hawley, on the Colts. I'll get to you in a second, but they won 33 to 8. It feels like though, it may be the Saints from last year potentially, that false dawn of hope of a good early couple of weeks. Maybe not as bad as the Saints from last year, but goodness me, they scored on every possession, boys. The Colts scored on every
First time ever.
single possession.
Well,
First
first
quarter-
since at least 1978.
First
so
quarterback
we
to
can-
ever score on every possession ever. Oh, every possession in a game.
Incredible. Their defense monstered Tua as well. They forced 2 picks, a fumble recovery, but the story here is obviously Daniel Jones, 22 of 29 for 272 yards and a touchdown in the air, plus 2 rushing touchdowns. Hawley, I must ask you, because I've forgotten, but I know it's a funny answer. How many wins did you predict the Colts to have last week?
Did
What
I
was it?
predict them to have
4?
any? 4? Well, this is one of them, isn't it?
It's one of them. So, okay.
I was absolutely blown away. I don't even know what to say. I was expecting the Miami offense to show a bit and be productive.
Because this is this time of year when they do
This
that.
is the time of the year when they're all fit, they're flying, they put up 40 points, and you think, oh, here we go, it's Miami's year. And then middle of the year, they start to do their Miami thing, and they basically just suck again. But the Colts, I mean, you guys, I was down on the Colts, but you guys kind of gave me a little, hey, they've got some good players. Their team's not bad. Receiving room is okay. Running back's all right. They weren't actually as bad as you think last year. But I just never in my life thought that Daniel Jones could come out and play like this. I don't care how good the team is. Daniel Jones, I didn't think had it in him and proved us wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 1 week and it was 1 touchdown in the air, but he was very, very good. So we'll take it with a grain of salt because there's always some weird stuff in week 1, as we know. But the Colts, well done, Colts fans. Enjoy that win. The Panthers 10 at the Jaguars 26. There was a delay in this one too, Dawson. As you put it, if there's one game you don't want to be elongated, it was the Panthers at the Jags. But is it reasonable, boys, for the fans of the Jags to go, we won by an absolute mile, yet Trevor Lawrence was pretty meh, didn't fill us with a whole lot of confidence. He was just okay in their big victory, but another man did step up, and that was Travis Etienne. Fellas, 143 yards on 16 carries, 8.9 yards per carry. That's more like it. And as for the Bryce Young resurgence, Hawley, that everyone
the
talked
Bryce
about,
Young
for,
believers.
goodness me,
Not a good game for them.
all the air got sucked out of that in about 2 hours. 50% completion, or just over, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. The only little bright spot was a 68-yard debut for Ted McMillan, the great white hope of that offense.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? It is
It's all
not
off straight away.
looking good. Oh, it's against the Jags, man. If it was against someone decent, you're like, okay, cool. They've got a good defense, but it's the Jags. Like, I was hoping after the...
It took 2 quarters for it all to fall apart.
I was hoping the lightning strike delay he'd go back in the rooms and, okay, hey, let's sort this out, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't work that way. So we'll maybe, I'm not sure where to go.
Yep, let's go to Cardinals 20 at Saints 13.
Kyler, my boy.
It's not one to replay, boys, but the Cardinals, they can breathe a sigh of relief. They ground out a win against the Saints side, who, it must be said, at least gave their fans a little bit of joy about hanging in there.
They were holding on, the Cardinals, at the end. There was some opportunities, the Saints, that they could have won this game, or at least tied it, I should say, on that final drive. Juwan Johnson with a drop.
So very close. A great throw from Rattler.
It was.
It was a dime from Rattler. He wasn't able to get a touchdown. Still hasn't got a winner starter, but there were some glimpses. It was mainly their defense, though, that made a game of it. 5 sacks of Kyler Murray. They definitely disrupted him. But Murray was efficient. He had 2 touchdowns, one of those to Marvin Harrison Jr., who had 5 receptions for 71 yards. So not a huge fantasy day, but an encouraging enough connection between those two, and a Cardinals win straight up.
Now, that was good. My concern, though, for Arizona coming into the season was I still thought they were a pass catcher short. And outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride, there wasn't a lot else going on for the Cardinals by way of receiving. So that needs to improve, I think. But look, the run game was efficient, and they got a big road win.
Trey Benson, 52-yard run. Only had 8 carries, so...
it was a bit of a share between him and Connor, was it?
It will be, I think. Yeah, Connor's still a very good running back, but I think we'll see more of Trey as the season goes.
All right, boys, I've been dreading getting to this one because I was optimistic about this team. The Giants 6 at the Commanders 21. What happened to all that hope, boys? You let me down, Giants. You let me down. That's a familiar sentence around the NFL traps. Walloped by NFC rivals Washington in every facet of the game, but most notably, fellas, they conceded 220 rushing yards, 220 yards on the ground, 6.6 yards per play, whilst only going at 3.7 yards per play themselves. The Commanders were dominant, but the story here is the underwhelming performance from Russell Wilson, 17 of 37, 168 yards. We want dart. We want
Positives. We're a positive podcast.
Are we?
The Giants sucked. Washington's...
Doesn't sound like a positive.
Washington's... offense is pretty good, right?
Very good.
Very good. They only put up 3 TDs. They only put up 21 points against the Giants. 21 points isn't going to win Washington many games this year.
Well, that's true.
So the Giants got to look at this and think...
That was a positive for who, the Giants?
The Giants. We got to look at this and think, hey, we got smashed, but we still only allowed 21 points. If we get anything working...
That's very glass half full.
Well, you got to be sometimes, don't you? When you got Russell Wilson, the Giants. If they can put up 15 points, they come up against a lesser opposition, they hold them to 2 TDs, they put up 15, 14, 17 points, they win a few games. So maybe the defense is better than we thought.
Well, remember, my gutsy call was that they become a top 5 defense by the end of the year.
No, I'm looking at some positives out of this. They couldn't have played worse, yet they only lost by 2 scores.
Wouldn't have mattered who you had behind that offensive line. The Giants' O-line was absolutely disgraceful. Yeah. They were terrible. Russ got smashed. He got hit about 8 times. He got sacked twice. But some of the hits he was taking, he was getting drilled. Like, they were just clean pass for the pass rushers. Dorrance Armstrong getting to him whenever he wanted. Javon Kinlaw had a really good game for the Commanders as well. So, yeah, the concern for me coming in outside of Andrew Thomas that offensive line is not up to scratch, and week 1 it is not. That was bad.
That was our concern last year, Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
we watched it all year. We said Daniel, he has no time. He's getting smashed, and maybe the Colts' offensive line is a little bit better. And look what Jones comes out and can do. So the human marble didn't get off to the greatest of starts.
Oh, what was Scatterbo's stats?
2 carries for -3 yards.
He's rolling backwards.
Yeah, he had one head first.
I think he might be that goal line kind of guy with a short back because he did have a carry at the 1 yard line.
Don't try and spin this positive,
backwards.
mate. That's a negative.
You should see this clip of him blocking. Man, he put some heart. He put some heart into it, Kurt.
He can block.
Spare me.
Had 2 receptions for 12
All
yards.
right, we don't need to talk anymore about a guy at -3 yards. Bucs 23 and Falcons 20. A big talking point of the offseason was the Bucs need to usher in their next generation of receivers, and boy, have they done that. Debutant first-round pick wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, the star, 2 touchdowns, including the winner with a minute left, a mouth-watering connection with Baker Mayfield. And as for Atlanta, Michael Penix Jr. did some really nice things, boys, and I would say lived up to the hype of the offseason. Yes, it didn't go their way, but man, he was tough. He was strong on the ground. He was pretty good in the air. There's something. There is something here for Atlanta.
If this was the game that had the same scoreline as the Steelers and Jets game, I would have expected that to happen. That this game to be like a 36-34 game, and the Steelers and Jets to be 18-20. I mean, this was 23-20. And from what we saw from these two teams last year, both games I think going to overtime, or at least one of them went to overtime. They were high scoring, high yardage games through the air. Neither team could get their running game going though. I said before or last week, Bijan Robinson struggled in the run game against the Buccaneers in his first 4 games, and even yesterday it was 12 carries for 24 yards. Yes, played a bit more of a role in the passing game, I should say. 6 receptions for 100 yards, but Bucky Irving struggled as well. So there's some things to work on for both teams. Big road win for Tampa. They were a 3-point favorite. It was exactly the result that ended up their way. But Atlanta had some chances to win this game, and the Younghoe Koo missed field goal to tie it at the end.
After a kicker battle in the offseason, because he didn't have a great year last year, Koo. Yeah, that was a bad miss.
Baker it wasn't great either. Like he missed Kate Otten wide open. He had another one that probably should have been intercepted, so not his best game, but did engineer the game-winning or go-ahead touchdown to Ibuka. So positives. And Hassan Reddick showed up with a big sack in the fourth quarter, Kurt.
You mentioned a missed field goal, and that's a good segue because the Bengals 17 beat the Browns 16. And if you just look at the score, you might think, wow, the Browns, they did well to get so close to the Bengals. But no, they dominated this game, utterly dominated it, and only lost due to that missed field goal. A classic Browns capitulation. Who else could do it like that? To keep Joe Burrow to 113 yards, Chase and Higgins to a combined 59 yards, to have 2.5 times the amount of total yards, keep Cincy to less than 3 yards per play, have double the amount of first downs, 11 more minutes possession, 71 plays to 49, and lose, boys. Goodness me. As for the Bengals, yes, this goes down as technically a win, but these slow starts, they're back. Because that was a shocking start.
It's a slow start, but it hasn't cost them. Last year or the last few years, we've seen it cost them.
So lucky.
And last year, I think, as we've mentioned, it's probably why they didn't make the playoffs. I think that what we said last week, they were 1-4 or 1-5 after 5 or 6 weeks. So at least now they've come out. And I spoke about this last year. Some of these teams want an easy week 1 victory or an easy week 1 matchup. And Bengals, on paper, they got it. And it kind of came through. Cleveland played really, really well, but still couldn't win. So that's what Cincy needed. They needed, even if Cincy weren't going to play well, they still needed just to somehow win. And that's what they got. If they played like this against a top 20 team in the NFL, they lose and they get blown out. But they're lucky they had a week 1 matchup, and they still managed to get the win. So they'll go back, they'll review it, and they'll say, hey, we got away with it. Let's move on, and let's get moving for the rest of the year. And hopefully now this can kind of get the ball rolling for Cincy. We can actually see some decent football. Well, I hope.
Let's look at another team you hope to see some decent football from, because the Raiders 20 beat the Patriots 13 in New England. It just goes to show you can have all the preseason positivity you want, and then you can still get blown up by the Raiders at home in week 1.
I wouldn't say blown up. Come on.
Well, they shouldn't be losing 20-13 against the Raiders. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith got the offense moving, boys, in the air. Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers combined for 200 yards, and whilst Ashton Genty was held to 2 yards per carry, he did score a touchdown, which was enough to get them the win. Hawley, bittersweet for you. Genty scores a touchdown, but it makes the Pats lose. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually okay with it. So do I like Genty more than the Pats? No,
I think you do. I think you do.
I'm coming in Pats gear. We said it last week that the Raiders could actually be that team that goes 7, 8, 9 wins. Like you put it on paper and you think, all right, Geno, Genty, Brock Bowers, Myers had a really good year last year. You know, defense isn't horrible. The thing is now for the Raiders is Bowers with a little MCL. That's what's probably going to hurt them because he's their guy. Jacoby Myers had a really good year last year, had a really good game on the weekend, but without Brock Bowers, can Michael Mayer take a step? He did have 4 receptions for 38 yards.
He had some nice moments.
He did have some nice moments, and maybe this is the time that he steps up and he becomes tight end 1 while Bowers is out. I'm not sure for how long, but that's what's going to hold the Raiders back now for the next month or so. And the Pats, well, that was one that they needed. They're at home, opening weekend.
So flat.
We wanted to see a little bit, but it's still the receivers. Like, I mean,
Kayshawn.
Yeah, that's the
Come on.
problem, isn't it? If he's your
Boutte.
number one guy. Hunter Henry, Stephon Diggs,
That's legitimately depressed.
Oh, is it?
Trevion Henderson was...
All right, we don't need to
yeah.
list any more guys if it's just making you more sad.
They're not even
man.
guys, are they? They're just players that
You'd be
are on
happy
the-
with
on the
Harold
team.
Landry, though, Hawley.
Will
Christian
Campbell.
Gonzalez has got to come back. Don't worry.
That's a good point. Would have won if it wasn't for him being out.
All right, let's move on. The 49ers 17 beat the Seahawks 13 in the NFC West clash. They take a narrow win, but it probably should have been a bigger one. Dominating possession 38 minutes to 22 did the 49ers. Brock Purdy made a couple of bad throws resulting in picks, but did score twice and generally created much more than an uninspiring Sam Darnold. The only outlet for the Seahawks was JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. 124 of their total 146 yards in the air was contributed by JSN. Cooper Kupp struggled in his debut, boys, for
Who would have
the
thought?
Seahawks. Only 2 catches for 15 yards. You called it, Hawley. And George Kittle scored for the Niners before injuring his hamstring. But not a perfect win, but an important win for the Niners straight up.
Oh, important divisional win. They won one divisional game last year, so to get this one on the road is a big result for a 49ers team that, there's mixed sort of, I guess, previews at the start of the season on how they would go. Some with the easier schedule had them winning 10 games. A lot of other people were doom and gloom that this team is, again, another 5 or 6 win team. But they threw a lot of different things at the Seattle offense. Robbie Sala tried a few different things. Got a lot of unproven players that they drafted, 6 draft picks, I think, on the defensive side of the ball in this one. So, look, I'm keen to see how this goes for the 49ers. But again, the George Kittle injury, you're down in an already thin pass catcher group. You lost another one now. So that's going to be tough going forward. But look, great win. Divisional win straight up. That's what you want. Couldn't ask for a better performance from Nick Bosa as well. He came up clutch when it mattered most in the fourth quarter.
Is this the real Sam Darnold? Did we see the one we're used to again?
Give it time. I worry. Didn't fill me with confidence, but we'll wait and see. 2 more games in this section before we dive a little deeper for the 3 classics later on in the show. But the Titans 12 at the Broncos 20. Boys, I warned about off-season darling syndrome, and it almost got the Broncos as a plucky Titans team, plucky Titans defense, came to town and almost stole it, causing 4 turnovers. But the offense under number 1 pick Cam Ward couldn't get going. Ward, he took some particularly costly sacks in the last quarter when it mattered. Put it down maybe to week 1 rust, but this wasn't the Broncos or the Knicks performance we expected to see. Although, Doss, your boy, a bright spot, RJ Harvey, looked very nice on the ground.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, 63 yards and a TD, fellas.
Yeah. He was fine. Harvey looked better.
With his 50-yard carry.
Harvey did look good with that 50-yard carry.
Look, they both look
Cortland Sutton looked good. Should have had another. Yeah, should have had more. Nick's couple of times he was wide open. Nix didn't hit him. Not a great start for Bo Nix. Last season, being a rookie, you expect a slow start. I didn't expect him to start like this yesterday. It looked like he was a bit slow getting through his progressions. Offensive line gave him plenty of protection. It's
a good line.
He wasn't pressured a whole lot. He just missed throws, and he just couldn't get the ball out. Concerning on that side of the ball. And that was really from a Denver side of things was where I think the concern was the most. I think they'll build from here. They've got the Colts this week. So, again, when you talked about Indianapolis last week.
That's a sneaky big game now.
Yeah, well, it is because now you've got a Denver defense that won them this game. Yep. They were very good. Coming up against a Colts offense with Danny Jones. So, I'm not too worried about Denver. It was a week 1 game that I thought they probably would have won by a lot more. But credit to Cam Ward because he did make some plays, did take some bad sacks, made some great throws. Unfortunately, his receivers let him down, though.
I'd rather him take some bad sacks than willy-nilly throw the ball and throw a pick.
Sure.
So he's still holding onto the ball. They still have possession.
Yeah, and his first game, I'm not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his first game, he still led 4 scoring drives.
Yeah, it wasn't all
So
good.
that's a real positive. Away against a Denver team whose defense should be one of the best in the league. He didn't score a TD, but he led 4 scoring drives, took 6 sacks. He had a fumble that he lost, but he didn't throw a pick. So turnover-wise, he was pretty handy there. So I think if you're looking at it from a Tennessee fan, you're taking a lot of positives out of Cam Ward's first start.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
I didn't like the play calling at all from Brian Callahan.
No,
in
you were
this
blowing
game.
up.
That was disgraceful.
You were blowing up.
You get an intercept.
Second time he's used the word disgraceful already on the first review show of the week.
You get an interception of Bo Nix, and then you go run, and kick.
No, that's fair.
What the hell is that?
Bit worrying as well. RJ Harvey, 1 reception, -1 yard. So I'd probably be looking at J.K. Dobbins a little bit more if I was Denver. So.
Texans 9 at Rams 14. The Matt Stafford injury concerns were really nothing to worry about, boys, as his connection with star wide receiver Puka Nacua continued. 130 yards for Nacua in a big game, a dominant 10-reception performance. CJ Stroud was quite the opposite, however. Rookie Jaden Higgins topped the receiving charts for the Texans with only 32 yards. Houston didn't trouble the scorers after halftime, and while Stroud was pressured on more than 40% of his snaps.
Yep.
Again. Leading to three sacks. Only 3 sacks. You would have thought maybe more, so he probably did well to avoid them. But that O-line, we thought it would be a worry, and what a surprise
What
it
was
is.
Houston thinking? CJ should have a better year. How?
Yeah.
He'll get pressured more.
Get rid of Tunsil, he'll be fine.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like they've got this guy. Year one, he showed that he could be an MVP. He can take you to the playoffs. You could win a Super Bowl with this guy. They just need to protect him. Like, they just need to invest and protect him, which I don't know if this year they're going to run the gauntlet and then next year they're going to load up their offensive line. But they need to figure something out quickly because 1, he's going to get injured, and 2, they're going to lose a lot of fans out of this.
I didn't expect this game to be 14-9, I must say. I thought it would be more high scoring than this. And Nick Chubb at least got through and looked okay. He was above 4 yards a carry, so that was encouraging to see Chubb back. But Dos, one quick thought on this game before we move on.
Oh, exactly to the point before on the offensive line, it was bad. Both teams' O-line, not great. We mentioned that going in, but the Rams with Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, find a way to get it done. I thought the Texans were a really good chance to win this game and make a statement coming into week 1. But yeah, the offense just sputtered and they just couldn't get anything going with the run game or through the air. Nico Collins was locked down. Not a great start for the Texans, but they're in the AFC South, so
they'll get some easy ones.
They'll be fine.
And Devontae Adams debut 4 catches for.
Well, I think the Rams on their receiving court, they need to share this around a bit. Puka had 10 receptions, Devontae had 4. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on 1 reception, and Colby Parkinson had 2 for -6. So you need to see that.
That's an old school Crimson. There's a few Crimsons rolling around.
There are a few Crimsons. You need to see some of those guys with 2, 3, 4 receptions just to keep the defense guessing a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Vikings at Bears later today, and we'll get to those other 3 games later on in the show. I'm going to make a phone call in just a moment to a man I'm calling Jasper the Fantasy Noob, because we're going to go through a fantasy roster, and Chris Hall is going to diagnose all the problems or good parts of it. We'll be back in
It's actually a good team.
All right, here he is. He's on the line, Jasper the Fantasy Noob, our friend. A friend of a friend who's now a friend of the show. I've run the nickname by him, boys. He's happy with Jasper the Fantasy Noob.
Perfect.
The backstory here is that my friend Pete knows Jasper, and Pete rang me a year ago saying Jasper has never done NFL fantasy before and he wants some tips. So he wants to ring the Outback QB. Can he have some advice? He rang me and we talked it through. I mentored him, I would say, Chris. And in his first year...
Oh, well, I'm surprised you mentored him because his
why?
team is very, very good.
Well, let me tell the backstory
So I'm not sure
first.
how he got there if you mentored him.
Hey, don't you start laughing in the background, Jasper. I heard that. In his first year, he finished 4th out of 12 in the draft that I guided him through, with only very, very minor input, I must say. He did really well. And now he's on the line. And Jasper, you're going to run us through the draft that you did by yourself for year 2. Is that right?
Yeah, year 2. Slight correction. We're only a 8 team.
There you
Oh.
go.
That
It makes total sense now because your team is elite, man. And Kurt said it was a 12-team league, and I could not work out how you drafted these guys.
I thought that's what you
Well,
told me, Jasper. You told me 12.
Last year was 12, right? Oh, no.
He was trying to save some face, I think, by saying it was 12. Yeah.
Okay, that makes... Because I was looking at it, and I
thought
figured...
it was 6.
I figured you drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown with your first pick.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then
Puka
Puka comes back around in the second round, which is rare because he's going in the top 10 of drafts or top 12 of drafts at the moment. So, okay, this makes more sense.
Well, Jasper, you said in a text message to me that you were happy with your draft, except you made a mistake with pick 2. What was the mistake that you think you made?
Well, I guess like going in coaching wise, I was making sure I got some elite wide receivers because last year my wide receiver group sucked.
Yep.
And so I picked Puka over Jamar Gibbs, and I'm now wondering if that was a big blunder.
Puka over Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Well, I mean,
well, not from the weekend.
He's pretty good, 130 yards in the weekend. I mean, let's run through the
True.
roster. It's a 2 QB league. You've gone Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy. That's a solid start. You've also got Tua on the bench. Good call. If you benched him this week, well, did you keep him on the bench for week 1?
His bench.
Nice. Jonathan Taylor and Breece Hall as your running backs. Puka and St. Brown, wide receivers. Tyler Warren tight end. Then you got JSN, DJ Moore, Chris Boswell, who kicked a 60-yarder to win it on the weekend. And the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, that hurts. Baltimore Ravens defense.
We figured Baltimore would be one of the best defenses in the league, but
and then the bench is Tua. And then you got Bill, Krosky Merritt, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, and Rome Odunze. I think one weakness may be Hawley. Tight end depth.
Tight end depth, because there is none. You've only got Tyler Warren. But I think that Tyler Warren is going to... He looks like he's running down that Brock Bowers kind of year. He's going to be the guy.
Wow.
That's all.
That was the hope.
If Daniel... And I think that's the hope of a lot of... I've got him in a few leagues as my backup. I think that if Daniel Jones can get moving like he did on the weekend, then Tyler should have a very, very good year. We're just not quite sold on Daniel Jones yet. My favorite pick that you've got there is actually Breece Hall, because he fell in a lot of drafts. He was drafted quite late, and I don't think it was warranted, because we spoke about on the podcast that the Jets should have a real run-heavy offense and then throw to Garrett whenever they need to throw the ball. And we saw that on the weekend where Fields ran a lot, Breece ran a lot. The only downside is that Fields is probably going to steal some touchdowns away from Breece Hall. 1 or 2 yard kind of goal line carries where they'll just give it to Justin and he'll jump over the line. So, but otherwise, I like it.
I got Breece pick 6.
As in round 6.
Sixth round.
Round 6. Round 6. Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's a great. So you picked up Puka in your first round? Is that what?
No, I got third pick overall.
Yep.
I went Lamar Jackson
because the two QB
because of
league.
the 2 QB was different. I guess the bigger weighting. Yep. And last year, all the QBs went straight away.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
have you played a 2 QB league, Hawley?
Not a redraft. I haven't. No.
Yeah, right. It really throws the strategy.
It's a different draft
he rang me
strategy.
before and said, "What do I do with 2 QBs?" And I said, "Honestly, man, I got no idea. I gave you nothing, Jasper."
I imagine it's similar to a lot of drafts or a lot of leagues where you can wait on QBs. So you let everyone else draft QBs early. You grab the elite positional players like RBs and wide receivers, and then hope while everyone else is drafting those guys later in the draft, you can grab some QBs that you probably end up starting like your Tua and Drake May. Those guys are your starters. But then,
one of our players did that strat, Luke. Yep. And he's going to come dead last this week.
Gotcha. Perfect. So there you go.
So not that strategy.
You got to make sure you pick up some nice QBs. I don't mind some later quarterbacks like Kyler, Dak, Drake May, Caleb Williams was going late in drafts. If
Justin Herbert
was going late. So if you pick the right guys, then it can work. But it is obviously a risk. Like you've got Lamar Jackson there, who's shoo-in for 25 points a week.
All right, Jasper. There's one key question to ask before we let you go. Did you win this week?
Yeah, I have won this week. Yes, unless I've got DJ Moore that goes minus 20 points.
Okay. Well done. That's good. Thank you, Dr. Hall, for diagnosing his fantasy roster.
JSN also could be QB. Could be wide receiver 1 this year. We've discussed that in the podcast. So great pickup.
Oh,
yeah, we really like that. Well done.
Like it, Jasper.
Anyone I should pick up off waivers before I let the experts go?
Grab Jordan Mason if you've got Aaron Jones.
He does. Yeah.
You got Jordan. Oh no, I would look for no, because you guys, your league's gonna have some good waiver wire pickups.
Grab a tight end, man. You need a tight end. If Warren goes down, you're in trouble.
All right.
Good on you, Jasper.
Who do I drop then?
I don't know, man. We this is paid. This is paid service now. Hawley's charges about $120 an hour for this, so you can call him privately.
Drop Bill.
Yeah, drop Bill.
Right.
Bill or Tua. You've probably got heaps of QBs on your waiver wire.
All right, sweet. Cheers, guys.
Good luck.
Good on you, Jasper.
I'll
See
let
ya.
you know how I go end of season.
Please do. Good on you,
See ya.
mate. Thanks for joining the show. All right, boys. We've got our 3 deeper game reviews coming up. Well done, Hawley. It's a great debut as a fantasy agony aunt. We'll be back in just a second.
Let's dissect Doss's fantasy team next week.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I
lock
had
it
a
in.
win too.
Did you? Well
did.
done, Doss. A big one or marginal? Well, I mean, there's still a Monday Night Football to go, but
Well, I still got Justin Jefferson to play today,
Oh.
so
Jedders. Nice.
that should be all right. Helps when your opposition has Joe Burrow as quarterback this week.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
He didn't have a great game. But yeah, I had
Nice.
Tyler Warren as well as my starting tight end.
Well, 7 receptions for 76. Is it a PPR league
It
you're in,
is,
Doss?
yeah.
Yes, that
Most
helps as a tight end. Is there a tight end bonus?
Nah, that's only our league. Our
Didn't look at
little
that.
It's just a
dynasty
chip,
leagues.
chip special, is it?
Yep.
All right.
Tight end bonus.
And just
Yeah.
a shout out to Chip. He bagged me out when we were trying to get Nugget over to Under the Hammer.
Yep.
Remember that? And he
Yes.
said, "Oh, don't worry, Hawley's no good in this league."
Oh, that's
Top scorer this week, Chip. Thank you.
Very good.
You didn't go so well yesterday though in the Outback League, Hawley. I think
I won.
Did you win?
Yeah, by like 0.7 of a point.
Oh yeah.
That's all it takes.
Keon Coleman was coming late though for you.
Hey,
But I
man,
won.
he's the doc. You don't question the doc.
I haven't lost a game this year. I've got 7 teams and I've won all of them this week.
Did you like with the new setup being able to look on the screen and
I
seeing
did.
It was so good. Oh, I had it on my phone. On my
I had it there
computer.
and then I saw it up on the screen. I was like, oh, I'll put the phone down. I can see the team up on the screen.
There we go. Good work, Jim. You're killing it, mate. Let's go. Deeper game review. Steelers 34 at Jets 32. Now, when Aaron Rodgers was asked whether it was significant that he beat Aaron Glenn, the man who, when he came to the Jets, said that he was not the man for the team, Rodgers, and should be moved on. Rodgers' response was very clear. I was happy to beat everyone associated with the Jets. It was an unexpected classic, boys. A vintage 4-touchdown performance from A-Rod, a 60-yard Chris Boswell field goal to win it, an efficient and pretty encouraging game from Justin Fields in the air and on the ground, must say. Overall, this one was a beauty. Doss, you're wearing the Rodgers top. Tell us
Yes,
about
I
it.
thought I'd channel with the Packers win and Rodgers. But as I said, I thought this was going to be a 18-12 win for the Steelers at MetLife. Just a real field goal fest with Boswell kicking 6 field goals. But both teams expected to have pretty good defenses. Will McDonald had a very nice game for the Jets, I thought. Quinnen Williams was good. And then on the defensive side for Pittsburgh, Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, all of the usual guys stood up. Jalen Ramsey was excellent, breaking up the big play
Right
on
at the
Garrett
end.
Wilson right
Yeah.
at the end to seal the game. But Hawley mentioned Brees Hall before and the Jets run game. Tanner Engstrand coming across from the Lions with Aaron Glenn, who was the coordinator the pass game coordinator under Ben Johnson. And the strong run game was on right from the first drive. Brees Hall was cutting and moving all over the place. He looked great. He was explosive, moving really well as opposed to probably last season where he looked a little sluggish, cutting and breaking tackles. And then Justin Fields, he stepped up, made some mature throws, I thought, made some big boy throws, stepped up in the pocket, firing darts down the field. The touchdown to Garrett Wilson as well, that beautiful one.
That's really nice.
Oh, that was a fantastic throw. So if you're a Jets fan, the offensive line played pretty well considering Elijah Vera Tucker's out for the season. They lost him only a couple of days before the game with a torn triceps tendon, I think it was. Olu Fashanu was really good. You got something to be excited about there, I think. I mean, the defense probably allowed a lot more points than what traditionally you would expect. But overall, if you're a Jets fan, you take this, I think.
You will. So we've got, Jimbo, if you can just chuck up the team stats there for the Jets and Steelers game. Yep. So we've got 394 total yards. That's more than 120 yards more than the Steelers, and they end up losing it. It was a game that was there for the taking for them. Then they almost got it done with that late, you can call it a stop, I guess, to keep Boswell kicking from 60 yards. That's not a given by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
so the Jets would look at that with 6.5 yards per play versus 5 per play, more first downs, more efficiency in a lot of areas, third down included, and think, this definitely got away from us.
Well, you look at that, Boswell. Let's go back to that last drive from the Steelers. It was first play was a 19-yard defensive pass interference on Calvin Austin. Second one, Rodgers to DK on a slant that Sauce Gardner blows up. Then you got the the ricochet off of DK hits Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
And DK's
Player
on
of
the
the- player
ground
of the day.
and it lands in his lap. And then then there was a couple more plays which ended up being negative yardage.
Mm.
And then Boswell just flushes one from 60 yards to win the game. So, man, that was a wild finish to this game. But hey, credit to the Steelers. They got it done.
Yeah, let's. I'll just throw to you in a second, Hawley. But Jim, if you can get the Pittsburgh Steelers stats up, because it is a thing of beauty looking at Rodgers' first game for them. You've got so you've got a player stats and then Steelers. You've got Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, that's yeah.
Off air, he's like, mid. Played okay.
No, he
Average
didn't say
game.
mid. He
Hold
didn't
on.
say mid.
I said Rodgers averaged
Average.
minus 4.7 air yards
What did you
to the
say
sticks.
before? You said that he had his game was okay.
He was okay, yeah.
22 of 30 for 244 and 4.
Okay, go and have a look at
Just
all the
okay.
yards after the catch.
Don't
Hawley.
care.
Watch the game, go back and watch it, and then you will
You
see.
said Michael Penix played really well, and Brian Robinson had BJ Robinson had a 50-yard reception, which was basically just him running the ball.
I didn't say Michael Penix played really well.
I think you boys did.
I did, and I thought you agreed, Dos.
It was okay.
Everyone's just okay.
I didn't say,
Everyone's always
hold on.
okay.
I didn't say Rodgers had a bad game. I thought he played well. He hung in the pocket and he took
They
hits.
played well.
Right?
What's the
He
level
still-
of good to bad? Where does okay and well fit? I just need to work this out for the rest of the year. So okay's here.
This is
and
week 1 Caleb
Wells
Williams
up
all
here.
over again.
He played a nice game.
Okay. Was that you that said he was solid at 90 yards? Solid game. For the
Look, in hindsight, I
did
made a
just
mistake,
say,
all
I
right?
just say Cam Ward had 114 yards and was solid. So
Well, look, one person who was solid was DK Metcalf on his debut for the
Yeah.
Steelers. 4 receptions for 83 yards. You'd say it's not a scintillating debut, but it's good enough, and there's enough of a connection there to go, okay, this could work.
yeah, I like it because my big thing was that DK is the only guy he has to throw to.
Yep.
Like he's going to have 15 targets, 10 receptions. That's how they're going to move this offense. But I was completely wrong. We had DK with 4 receptions, Calvin
Yeah.
Austin 4, Big Pat 3, Jonnu Smith 5, Kenny Gainwell 3. Like that's for me is a sign.
Skoronek scored a touchdown.
Oh, that's the sign of a good team. Like these are guys. They're happy to share the ball around.
Yeah.
The defense doesn't know where it's going. No one really stands out. It's an unselfish team. The problem was that this defense is supposed to be really good, right?
Yep.
Pittsburgh defense is always really good, but they allowed 32 points from the New York Jets, who no one really expected to have a great offense under Justin Fields. Maybe we were wrong, same as the Colts. Maybe Daniel Jones has found something. Maybe Justin Fields has found something. But I think they listened to our podcast,
Oh, yeah?
the Jets coaches, because we said they need a ground and pound and then target Garrett. And as Dos said, almost 5 yards a carry on 39 carries, 3 TDs on the ground. And then when they needed to throw the ball, they said, hey, where's Garrett? 9 targets for 95 yards and a TD. So apart from Garrett and the running backs, the rest of the receiving room, they combined for 7 receptions, just over 80 yards.
The big one is the fact that there was a connection between Garrett Wilson
Garrett
and Justin
had
Fields.
to
Because
be.
if there isn't, it's all over.
It doesn't matter if they can ground it; they
Yep.
need to pound it as well in the air. So it worked.
Let that be a life lesson to you out there, kids.
It worked on the weekend, and the positive thing is it worked against a defense that traditionally has been a very, very strong defense.
Yep.
So if this is something that continues over the year, then the Jets might actually. I don't want to say it, but they might actually have something here.
But unfortunately, they still lost. For all this positivity, they still
They
rack
did.
up losses this side. Anyway, it was an entertaining game, a great one to watch.
I
back
guess
if
they
you
were
haven't.
just okay.
They were just okay. The Lions 13 at the Packers 27. This is a team that was
Yes.
much better than okay. The Green Bay Packers subdued arguably the most electric offense in the
There you
league.
go, Dos.
With an iconic chase down sack by prized recruit Micah Parsons being the crowning jewel towards the end of the game. It was a surprisingly flat performance from everyone's second favorite team, the Lions. But Dos, let's kick this off. What did the Green Bay defense do to Jared Goff and co?
Well, the Packers beat the Lions the same way that the Lions have basically beaten everyone else in the last
Score more
two
points.
seasons. They beat them in the trenches. Along with the Eagles,
Close.
the Lions are the best, O-line, D-line. They've been the best team in the NFC, and the Packers dominated the line of scrimmage. Jared Goff had no time in the pocket. They shut down the run game of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I said last week the Packers needed to start fast because they trailed at halftime both games last season, and they had a 17-3 lead at the half. And offensively, the line protected Jordan Love really well, gave him time in the pocket. And to be honest, this game never felt close. Like it felt
No.
like the Packers had them the whole time. I think Hawley, you said that the Packers looked really good, and the Lions just didn't look like getting close.
You're kind of waiting for the Lions to say, all right, we've had our 3 drives of nothing. Let's start moving now. All right, we get this big play to Jamison Williams, and Amon-Ra gets one, and Jameer Gibbs takes it for 30 yards, and it'll just start happening. We'll put up some points, and it'll be close again. But it just didn't happen. Like, it was a weird one. You just waited for it, and it just never came about.
Jameer Gibbs didn't have a play over 5 yards ended up being 6
Mate,
yards
they
until
ran-
like the last quarter.
They had 22 carries at 2.1 yards per carry. Like, that's elite from Green Bay's defense. Absolutely elite.
And I like how the whole narrative from Jerry was we couldn't stop the run with Micah, so it won't hurt letting him go.
Oh,
and then the Packers do that on the ground to the Lions. But the funny thing, too, is that the Lions had the ball for 35 minutes in this game. The Packers only had it for 25. And there was just a complete swap in efficiency as far as what they could do with it. So, look, again, week 1, is it concerning that the Lions put this up? Yes, but it's not doom and gloom. It's just that weird, every now and then the Lions sort of just fritz out a little bit and don't get things going. But I didn't expect that week 1.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson's
Are
gone.
we worried about
Yeah.
Dan?
Well,
Elite. That happened. You do see
Are
it.
you calling Dan? You got pressure cooker on
I called
Dan?
it. Maybe I called it a year early. Like I said, fellas, I'm Europe. I'm here before everyone else. Is sometimes you see a good head coach.
that's a
needs
joke we've got to kill, by the way, the Europe joke.
I like the Europe joke.
fashion, mate. I'm ahead of everyone else. It's sometimes you do see a head coach is a good head coach because they have really good assistants, and sometimes without good assistants, they start to struggle. Is this a case of that?
I mean, it's
He's a
week
good.
one.
I'm
It's
sure.
week 1.
I'm sure he's a really good. He's a great motivator. He can get the guys going, but gameplay, decisions, calling plays. I mean, we saw it on the weekend that they sucked. They just couldn't get it moving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to question Dan Campbell's
I
coaching
will.
credentials after 3 years in
He
this one
will.
game.
I won't either.
But John Morton, the new OC,
Yeah.
consider yourself officially on
You
notice
heard it
with
here,
Chris Hall.
fellas. But hey, Green Bay, no sacks, no turnovers, no worries. Didn't allow sacks. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Like,
I know-
sounded
I knew
way
what you
better.
meant.
Yeah,
Sounded way
yeah.
better.
We're gonna
I'll do it
move
again.
on
Hey,
that.
but Green Bay,
Yeah.
no sacks, no turnovers, no worries.
Nice.
Cut
Well
that
done.
first bit out, would you?
Just
Oh,
quick-
that was a
Jimbo.
great ending. He crescendoed, and you're gonna make another
come on,
point.
Doss.
Sorry.
Go
All
on,
right,
Doss,
I
finish
just
it
wanted
off.
to call
I'll
out.
do it again. I'll do it afterwards. Say it again.
Speaking about coordinators, Jeff Hafley called, I think, the best game he's called as a DC for Green Bay.
Yep.
His play calling was awesome. The scheme that they set up for the Lions offense was phenomenal. He had Micah Parsons lining up in all different positions across the front. And the front seven looked awesome. Devontae Wyatt, Rashawn Gary. But this is the impact that Micah Parsons has. He lifts everyone else because now you're watching and you could tell Jared Goff, they were concerned about Parsons.
Yeah.
He was only on the field. He only played 29 snaps. He had 3 pressures and the 1 sack. But those 3 pressures, one of them was the third pressure was a check down that resulted in a loss of yardage. Late in the first half, he had the pressure on Goff. That resulted in the interception to Evan Williams. And the second one was the sack that he had towards the end of the game. But just the way he was getting inside shoulder on Penei Sewell, no one gets inside on
Yeah, we
Penei
get
Sewell.
it, Doss. We get it. You love Parsons. You're excited about him, right? You're allowed.
But
to-
I think you need to understand, like, that is, like, having him on that defense, or what I thought was already a pretty good defense, now elevates this Green Bay team to sort of top tier defense.
You know what else with Green Bay?
What's that?
No sacks, no turnovers, no worries.
You didn't even need me to throw to you. I was ready to do it. Brilliant. Ravens at Bills, boys. Ravens 40, Bills 41. And I'm not going to lie. With 4 minutes left in this game, I had written my review. I'd done my little paragraph because at that point, you see, the Ravens led by 15 points. And then it all changed. Josh Allen produced one of his most incredible, iconic performances yet. And all of a sudden, the Bills are winners in an all-time classic. Doss, how the heck do we process this one?
I had to go back and watch
Never heard
it.
that sound come out of your mouth before.
I had to go back. I had to go back and watch
Weak
the
at the
game.
knees.
Watch the game again last night because it was just wild. I just felt so overstimulated from all of yesterday. I had to go back and watch it
course you
again last night.
You watched Green Bay, and then this game it was too much.
That's a heck of a lot of
No.
stimulation.
8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Hawley.
Yeah.
And the Ravens are averaging 9.7 yards per play. Derrick Henry, 169 yards, 238 rush yards as a team. Lamar Jackson has no turnovers, and they lose the game.
That was all in my notes before I had to throw them out.
Well, Derrick
Pop the team
fumbled,
stats
man.
up there, Jimbo.
And you know what? I love Derrick Henry, and he's not falling off. He's not dropping. I don't know if he ever will.
Not.
But he made he made a mistake. He tried to don't argue. All he had to do was protect the ball, grab it, hold it in with two hands, protect it, run into guys. No one's going to tackle him. He's going to gain 3 or 4 yards a carry. It's just who he is. But he decided to try to push off a defender. They got the fist in, caused a fumble, and that's
Which
how
he
this
does
whole
a
thing's-
lot of, though, to
But
be fair.
but in this situation,
Probably the start of the decline, I reckon.
is it the start of the decline? Was that the start?
It was
I
one
mean,
of the
he only
greatest
went-
games I've ever seen until that
He
point.
only went at 9.5 yards a carry.
You guys, you really shouldn't have written him off a couple of years
That's right.
ago. That's really.
But that he got them in the position to win the game. But for me, that was what lost the game. He needed it was a rookie mistake for me.
Hmm.
2 hands, run into a bloke, and just run the clock down, hold on to the ball.
It hurts in a game that he produced so much in. But, I mean, it's just... These are two offensive powerhouses in the AFC, and we saw the maximum potential of both of them in this game. Defense, I don't know whether that's something to worry about, or do we just go... Look,
I think these offenses are too good. Your defense doesn't really matter who they're coming up against.
until the
does it?
championship game. Dos?
Well, that's a good point. So, 4th and 3.
Super Bowl last year, Kansas City.
4th and 3,
Defense.
Hawley. 1 minute 33 left in the game. Baltimore. Todd Monken and John Harbaugh. They've got Lamar Jackson. They've got Derrick Henry. They need 3 yards. 4th and 3. They choose to punt it.
Yeah.
You're averaging 9.7 yards per play.
That's insane, that number.
Why? Because it's a tie game, by the way. So you're giving Josh Allen a minute 33 and the way he was finishing the game, all he has to do is get him in field goal position to win it.
Dos, at the time, because this is always easy in hindsight, honestly, were you looking at it saying go?
I would have gone.
I
The
would-
way you're moving the ball, I'm not giving the ball back to Josh Allen.
If this was a close game with a low-scoring close game, then I'll back my
that's
defense.
different. Yeah.
But these defenses weren't stopping the offenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no matter
That's a good point.
whoever had the ball last was going to win the game.
Correct.
So I think they had to back, like you said, 4th and 3 with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Like just give it to one of them and let them.
You're on the road. Like,
Zay Flowers, Kurt.
Yes.
We mentioned. I might get the stats
yeah,
up
pop
now.
up the Ravens stats if you can there, Jim.
We talked about it. I'm not sure if it was a podcast, an episode that actually went to air, but we talked about Zay Flowers. Maybe this is his real big breakout year. There isn't a lot else there to throw to. It's his 3rd year now. He could be on that level that we're kind of talking about with JSN, where he's pushing for a top 5 receiver slot in the NFL. And I think
Look at those numbers.
week 1 definitely showed that we're on the right path here. 143
7, yeah.
yards, 7 receptions, a TD.
Then just
9
below him,
targets.
DeAndre
Well,
Hopkins,
do you
that
know-
touchdown.
That
How
was
was
a
that
l-
touchdown?
do you know
by
what I'm
D-Hop?
flat about? Because the Ravens lost, that's going to be forgotten, that one-handed
Yeah. Oh,
touchdown.
it's
Like,
incredible.
that was crazy good from D-Hop.
Mark Andrews real quiet. 1 reception, 5 yards, and only the 1 target.
One more. Well, if we look at targets, if you just hop over to the Bills, there,
As I likely
I suppose they
play
didn't
this
need
game.
to, did they?
No,
I
not
mean,
when you're
Derek's
running the
running
ball
at
this
10
well.
yards a carry. You might as well just run the ball.
Last point I'll make, sorry boys. Let's look at the receiving for the Bills. Look at the amount of receptions and the amount of players he spread it around to. Coleman 8, Shakir 6, Palmer 5, Cook 5, Kincaid 1, even Hawes. Jackson Hawes with a huge play late. 2 for Knox, 1 for Elijah Moore's at the Bills. We forgot about that. Ty Johnson was targeted.
mentioned
Ray
him and
Davis.
Curtis Samuel last week.
Oh yeah, okay. But look, I mean, he was spreading that ball around like crazy. It was an incredible game to watch those two going at it. The league could not have been happier with that as a Sunday night football.
Oh, Chris
opener.
Collinsworth was in some good form.
Go on,
Jeez,
Dust.
it was good.
Go on,
I
Dust.
don't know if I can rattle off. Well, this guy right here.
He says it every time. And
Don't think I can
Josh
do it.
Allen, this guy. My God.
All right, boys, that's all the games for this week, but we've got a few more things to come on this show, including a message from Muscle Cat Media. Just a little break in the Outback QB proceedings to tell you about Hot Takes Live, the brand new event from Muscle Cat Media. Saturday, November 1st, completely free, the Suburban Brew Goodwood, hosted by myself. The concept is simple. Everybody who watches this show loves sport, everybody who loves sport has an opinion, and everyone thinks their opinion is valid. Well, this is your chance to prove that yours is the best. You can get up on stage, you get 60 seconds, tell everyone your sporting hot take. The twist is that the audience gets to judge you. Good take, bad take. Why would you get up on stage? Well, there's 3 reasons. First, you can tell everybody all the stuff you know and how good your opinions are. Second, you'll get a free beer from the Suburban Brew. They just pour you a beer for getting up. How good's that? And third is you could win. The highest approval rating from the audience is crowned the winner and will take home an array of prizes from our partners. Hot Takes Live. Make sure you follow our Instagram. Click the link on our Insta. Get your free ticket. You have to register it because it's starting to fill up already. This marketing campaign's very new and we're already filling up the event. It's going to be a great night. Saturday, November 1st, completely free. Hot Takes Live, Suburban Brew Goodwood. We will see you there. Do not miss out. All right, back to the show. Boys, it's time to potentially lay to rest some jokes that we've been talking about on the show for a while. I mean, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it fresh. Well, I've only got two I want to talk about. Because we get feedback from listeners occasionally saying, that's hilarious, I love that. And then sometimes that sort of fades off as we use the joke for the 17th, the 18th, 81st, 82nd time. And then occasionally we get a few comments from listeners in the inbox on the email saying, you may have done that to death a little bit. Some teams that get targeted over certain things over and over and over again. So it's just a chance to review as we get some somber music going for a potential funeral. Because it's not easy, boys. You have to sometimes say goodbye to things in your lives. And there's one thing I'll put up for review.
Here we go. This is rubbish that he's got.
I don't think is probably going to get up, but
Driveway.
every week we mention the driveway, boys.
Well, it hadn't come up until you just brought it up again.
Well, I know. That's ironic.
And we got together and said, hey, let's not run with that joke today. But now you brought it up. So
yeah, it was a sinister attempt to derail the segment. That's
my back is actually quite sore on this couch. It's not great support after that driveway, the hike.
Is it still funny mentioning the driveway every time?
Didn't you?
Out of pure exasperation.
Jim Bob laughed.
Yeah, it's his second show.
Yeah, so what if it's someone else's second show?
Well, what about all our loyal listeners who've listened to 270 episodes of you saying the driveway's steep?
Well, they're still here, aren't they?
Don't know. I'll check the stats.
Dos, what do you think? Does it stay?
I think it has its moments. Yeah, the driveway applied correctly.
Yeah,
it's there. Certainly when it's wet and cold.
Or come to nicer weather that we're coming into.
Yeah,
we probably won't mention the driveway as much.
Unless it's 40 degrees.
It'll be nice and it'll be sticky, and it'll be actually walk up it without any concerns of injuries.
Okay, so we've gotten through the dangerous part of the year for the driveway. All right, so we're not laying it to rest. We're just maybe giving it a little bit of a stint in the hospital over.
It's still there, mate.
All right, well, this is a joke that I think I will have some support in laying to rest because I've got some serious fatigue with this one. And Dos, I know you will be on board. I think it's time for a moratorium on calling Terry McLaurin mid. Not because I think he's necessarily a top 5 wide receiver. That's always up for debate. But just because we've done it so much, and every time it gets brought up, it completely derails the momentum when any commander's point that Dos is trying to make. So, Dos, I'll throw to you for your support. Do you, I mean, surely you want to get rid of the Terry McLaurin mid joke?
It's not even a joke. It's blasphemous, quite frankly. We shouldn't be referencing anything towards Terry McLaurin as mid.
Sure. I'm just going to go through some stats. 2 receptions for 27 yards. Only had 4 targets. It was badly timed.
It was really badly timed.
Debo, they brought in Debo Samuel. Is Debo, 30-something? He's old.
29.
He's washed. Right. and they've gone bang 10 targets.
How is he washed?
They've had to bring in a wide receiver 1. 10 targets, 7 receptions, 77 yards. You just signed Terry to this huge deal and you only targeted him 4 times. And it doesn't matter if he's manned up or he's contested because he's the best contested catch in the NFL.
He is.
So why weren't they throwing it to him? Why didn't they throw it to him?
Didn't need to yesterday against the Giants. I'm
only put up 21 points.
Packers got him this week.
Yeah, the best defense. Okay, well, I'm happy to put it to rest if Terry comes out against the Packers and goes bang.
What's bang mean?
It needs 100.
Okay. That's great. If he puts, because I think I'm the deciding vote, right? Because you're a no, you're a yes.
Oh, I want to call him mid for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so let's.
And I'll break the rules and still call him.
The joke can continue if he doesn't top 100. If he tops 100 against the Packers, you can never call Terry McLaurin mid ever.
Wow.
Again.
Okay, you happy with that, Dos?
Yeah, he's not.
He had 27 yards.
Move on.
I like how Dos does it. It's a segment about jokes and you don't even engage in the joke about it.
Cam Scatterbo had half the amount of yards that Terry did on the weekend. 12 to 27. It's not that he only had 15
He also ran backwards for most of the game. So I don't think we can compare that.
What did AJ Brown and Mike Evans do this week?
Yeah, but they've had better seasons than Terry.
Just saying.
Mike Evans has had 1,000 yards every season of his career.
Yeah.
Terry's
all
only
right,
had
all
one.
right. Let's end this funeral. The wake is getting awkward. If he gets 100 against the Packers, Terry McLaurin
Oh, okay,
next year,
Terry has
next
had
week.
a lot of 1,000-yard seasons as well. He's only had one that's just under.
And what was that, his rookie season?
Yeah, well, still under.
And who was throwing the ball to him?
Still under 1,000 yards, wasn't it?
All right, that went about as well as I thought it would go. They're
I'm
off screen because they're physically abusing each other. Let's move on. We've got our week 2 preview.
I do think
Come on, right.
he's a bit better than mid. Terry's probably mid to good.
All right, hey,
Enough.
Mid plus.
that is enough. I gave you a whole segment to rattle on about that, and now we're
he's still
moving on.
going up, and he's still trying to look through Terry's stat. Just
No, I'm
let it
impressed
go.
by them. So I didn't realize they were
So
that
you
good.
should be.
Week 2 preview. We've got week 2 coming up. Jimbo's going to get the games up on the screen for us. Boys, I'll rattle through the games, but the first one, Dos, that you wanted to talk about is the one
Whoa.
that's straight up and fair enough, because on Friday morning, TNF. You're normally not a TNF guy there, Dos, but you got the Commanders at the Packers. The boys in Lambeau. What's going on?
Yeah, Alan Herbie will be back for another year of TNF.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking forward to that.
Al into it this year, or
He will be.
Yeah, okay.
Well, first game he will be. I don't know when he
Week
gets
13 he'll be
week
whinging.
13, depending on what that matchup looks like.
I love
It
how
might not
he
be.
bags out the games they've been getting on TNF.
How does the schedule look for TNF this year? Because I know last year you were very, very critical of it.
I think for the last 3 years on this
Are they better? Because this is
pod,
obviously
I haven't got the whole TNF in. You can pull it up and have a look.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
overall, I
interested.
think it is better though, Hawley.
Okay, cool.
I think Amazon made a request. Given we're putting in 10 bill, can you throw us a few?
bill?
Can you throw a few games our way?
Just a
Jeez,
casual
Outback
10
QB
bill.
wouldn't mind a little bit of that.
Tell you what.
Like $3.
Especially James sitting over there pushing all the buttons now,
Yeah.
working away.
That's all right. He doesn't come cheap.
Hey,
He comes the same as all of us, $0.
And he has to walk up the driveway.
Oh no, it didn't get up. Come on, Dos.
Packers are a 3-point home favourite at the moment.
I'm
No
going to keep going with
surprise.
it. That's why the
Driveway.
weekend was so difficult. You had to cart all this gear up the driveway. Took him the whole bloody
Right, look at
weekend.
the lights, everything.
Had to get a sizzle and boom lift.
Yeah, he's you noticed he hasn't left that chair.
He's
Not
got the
by
same
choice.
clothes on from last week. Hasn't left the premises. It's too hard. Called the family. I'm not coming home.
All right, Dos.
I'm good.
Commanders, Packers, go.
Yeah, Packers 3-point home favourite, which is not a surprise given the short turnaround for TNF. The Commanders, they did enough against the Giants. You know, the Giants weren't able to convert on their red zone trips, 0 of 2. You know, they get a touchdown on maybe one of those, Hawley, and then all of a sudden we could be talking
Close
about
up,
that
yeah.
Giants-Commanders game a little differently. But the offense did enough. I mean, the Giants' pass rush they were able to get to Jaden Daniels, but not enough really to lock it down too much. But what I am keen to see is how Jeff Hafley handles Jaden Daniels coming off the Jared Goff, you know, pocket passer, QB. We know what Jaden Daniels can do, both inside the pocket and outside of the pocket. And the Commanders really rely on their run game. Hawley read out the stats before on the Commanders run game. We saw the Packers rip that right away from the line. So again, can the Packers force Jaden Daniels to make throws that he isn't comfortable making, take away the run game, really win that battle of the trenches? And we should have a good game here to kick off TNF for the season.
Yeah, I think it's a cracker. I can't wait to see
Just
it.
about game. I think Philly KC is probably game of
Yeah.
the week, but this is if Philly KC. This would usually be a game of the week.
Yeah.
It's. I'm quite excited to watch it, Dos.
We've got the Giants at the Cowboys. This is the early window. Giants at Cowboys both needing a win. That one's in Dallas. Seahawks at Steelers. Remember my gutsy call got the Steelers. I got my arm twisted from 5-0 to 8-0. So they're 1-0.
They're on
Good
track.
start. Should beat the Seahawks hopefully this week. Then
No,
That's at home. That's
12.5% of the way there, Chris.
they're going to go half the season undefeated.
Maybe.
That's brilliant.
what should be still called Heinz Field.
What's it called these days?
Acrisure
Yeah,
Stadium.
that sucks.
Oh,
Rams at
more money.
Titans, early window. That could be anything. I don't really know what to expect from that one. Bills at Jets. That doesn't get much easier for the Jets, does it? After
Be another
that?
high scoring game.
Could
It
be
could
a
be.
shootout. That
Could be. Imagine if the Jets score 30 points a week and just keep losing.
and keep
every week.
losing. Cincinnati last year.
That is an interesting one. We've got the AFC East matchup of the Pats and the Dolphins. All of a sudden huge for these two to get a divisional win
Ooh,
early
yeah.
on.
Down
You wouldn't want to drop that in
at-
Miami.
Down at Hard Rock,
We'll be
Hawley.
watching that one, won't we?
You will be.
Blockbuster.
It's your team, mate.
It's your team.
Yeah, and I'm
with
already
you.
off them. They suck.
Jags at Bengals is
love
also in the late window, along with 49ers at Saints. Actually, Jags Bengals, we shouldn't gloss over that because, like we said, the Bengals weren't all there on the weekend. So that's a slippery danger game if the Jags bring anything near their best. 49ers at Saints. Saints pluckier than we thought. 49ers got over the line by only 3, but should have beaten the Seahawks
Without
by
George
more.
Kittle.
No Kittle, that's right. I'm still expecting the 49ers to quite easily do it, but you just never know. Then the Ravens at the Browns, Hawley. This is the one you picked to watch.
Yeah, well, we spoke
Sorry,
about
the Browns at the Ravens, I should say.
We already mentioned, obviously, the Browns-Bengals, but they were actually really good. They beat the Bengals in yards, or they more than doubled their yards, 279 pass yards to 96, 21 first downs to 11. They only punted twice. All the stats obviously pointed towards a Week 1 Browns victory. And the Ravens were awesome. Like Lamar was clinical, only 5 incompletions. Henry was vintage, not dropping off. The run game, as we mentioned, 238 yards at over 8 yards of carry. Zay Flowers was unbelievable. They should have won, right? They were in a position they should have won. They held the Bills at bay all night. Now, they lost. And I think that really hurts the Ravens because they feel like this is one that got away from them. Okay, so if they were down all night, then they go back and review it and think, okay, we weren't there, we weren't ourselves, but we were there. We should have won. We let it slip. The Browns, they're completely different. No one expected them to beat the Bengals. This is bonus time for them. They lose to the Bengals, no one really cares. So
they care. They should have won it. They'd be shattered about it.
Yeah, but no one else. The pressure is not on the Browns to come out and beat the Bengals.
So what's your point for this week?
That they're coming into the Ravens game. Everyone expects the Ravens to win, right? All the pressure is on Baltimore. They're 0-1. They have to win. They lost to Baltimore. They're playing against the Browns. They have to beat the Browns. The Browns have nothing to fear. They come out and lose. No one cares because we don't expect the Browns to win. But that's where the advantage comes. There's pressure on the Ravens. The Browns come out. They can sling it. They can do whatever they want. They can take chances. You can play, like AFL, you can play a fast tempo and hope it works because if it doesn't work, who cares? You're not expected to win. These guys can take a risk. Joe can throw to whoever he wants. He throws 3 picks. Oh, well, we lose by 2 touchdowns. That's what we expected. But if a few of these things come off, then all of a sudden the pressure builds on the Ravens and, oh, no, the Browns are here. What are we going to do? We didn't expect this.
So you're predicting a mental meltdown from the Ravens?
I'm predicting if the Browns come out and they just play however they want, which they can because there's no pressure on them. If they lose, they lose. Then there'll be pressure put back onto the Ravens if the Browns start to score. And that's why I think that this will be a really fun game to watch.
Could be. I just see the Ravens as a very different proposition to the Bengals. Week 1 Bengals versus Week 1 Ravens is...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But there's no pressure on the Browns to win this. Like, no one here is going to tip the Browns to win, right?
No.
And you're going to tip the Ravens to win by probably over 10 points.
Who are you tipping?
Oh, Ravens, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they win. I think they're too talented to win. But there's that chance that the Browns come out and there's no pressure. We're the underdogs. Who cares? Let's sling it. Let's throw it downfield a couple times, see if it comes off. If it doesn't, who cares? We're not expected to win. If it does, then...
I love that their catchphrase is, who cares?
Well, because that's what it is.
3 times.
They're playing Joe Flacco, man. Like,
yeah, I know.
What are they trying to achieve this year? They drafted 2 QBs. I'm not sure where they're going. But there's no pressure on them.
All right. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think this is a blowout. I think the Browns won't.
I'm excited to watch it because I think Joe can just start slinging and there could be some points and the Ravens could feel some pressure.
I think the Ravens will win by a lot.
All right, let's have a look at one.
They probably will, but hey, it's fun to dream.
It's fun
fellas.
to talk about.
It is fun to dream, Hawley. That's a nice statement.
Someone's got to have some dreams in this podcast.
Bears at Lions is the one that I almost picked. That could be a cracker. Lions under pressure. The Bears we're yet to see play. They'll play in an hour or so at time of recording. Broncos at Colts, like we said, that's a sneaky big game.
A couple better games than we expected.
Yeah,
you look at week 1 and you look forward to week 2 and you think, these guys are going to be average games. But now all of a sudden, a couple upsets and whew.
We're into the late window
Browns,
with Broncos Colts. Then we've got Panthers Cardinals also in the late window. That's in Arizona. Gee, the pressure builds quickly on the Panthers if they lose this one badly too. Then we've got the game that I've picked, which is the Eagles at the Chiefs, the Super Bowl rematch. And I've picked this. I mean, yes, I go for the Chiefs, but just from a neutral's perspective, this is
awesome
game. It's a great matchup. Obviously, a Super Bowl rematch always is. But everybody who's been wishing for the Chiefs' demise, they get their chance to potentially feast on that this week because the Chiefs lost week 1 when everyone thought that it would be a tight matchup, but the Chiefs always find a way to win somehow. They didn't. They didn't in week 1. And now they're back from Brazil. They got their first game at Arrowhead, and they got embarrassed in the Super Bowl last year, and everybody loved watching that. So imagine if there's now 3 losses on the trot from the Super Bowl to Brazil and then back at home to the Eagles. If they lose this one, the pressure, yes, starts to mount. I mean, I'll always have faith under this regime that they'll get back to playoffs and those sorts of things. But the Eagles have a chance to really put their foot on the throat here, Dos, of the Chiefs. Make them 0-2, psychologically torture them and show them that you can't beat the Eagles.
Yeah, they do, Kurt. I mean, a lot of change in personnel on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. So let's see how the new look Kansas City Chiefs offensive line handle the Eagles defense. Let's see what Vic Fangio dials up.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a key one to look at, because I thought Mahomes played I thought he was okay.
I thought he was good.
You know, against the Chargers. I actually thought he played a pretty reasonable game. He made some good 4th down conversions when it mattered, as he always does. But what can this Chiefs defense do to get pressure on Jalen Hurts? Can they slow down Saquon Barkley? Can they nullify the passing game, which the Cowboys did to an extent, and that's what kept them in the game, really. So it's a great matchup. Super Bowl rematches always are. This is, man, I don't even know where to lean on this one as well. It's
really tight. I think the Eagles narrowly.
It is a big one for the Chiefs because they're looking ahead at their schedule. They play the Giants the week after. You
Sweet.
Probably put that down. Yeah, you've got one in the bank. But then you come up against the Ravens, Jags, whatever, Lions. If the Lions get moving again, then the Raiders, okay, Commanders and Bills. So
that's a tough
your
first
first
half of the
2
year.
months is really, really hard. So that loss to the Chargers does hurt. You lose to the Eagles now. You beat Giants, Ravens.
You got Ravens and Lions at home though.
Yeah, but you're still probably looking at a possible 1-3 start. Now, like you said, I'm always backing the Chiefs with Patty Mahomes to make playoffs. Like I think they'll win enough games to get themselves there, but you don't want to put yourself in that position where you're playing catch up all year. And the way that their schedule starts is it's very, very difficult. It's a bit daunting if you're a Chiefs fan.
All right, the last 3 games in week 2, the Falcons at the Vikings. Like I said, we haven't seen the Vikings play yet. They're on in about an hour's time. Then the Bucs at the Texans. The Falcons Vikings is the Sunday night football game. And then there's 2 MNFs. We're going the double header MNF again, Dos. Bucs at Texans and Chargers at Raiders, which is a much bigger game now.
I mean, they're good
than
games, but they shouldn't be on at the same time.
We get 2 games. 2 games to watch.
That's week 2. All right.
No, they're set. They've staggered them. They're not on. Then we're not doing this simulcast.
Oh, it's
3 hours
8:30 and
apart.
11. Wow.
Oh, I'm good with that.
Oh, that's cool.
okay.
That's a proper double header.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Much better.
Yeah,
much better.
I don't like it when they're on at the same time.
Oh, I might have to book Tuesday and day off work.
Well, it's your business, mate. You do what you want.
Good point. Yep.
All right. There's only one way, Hawley, we end the show, and that is, of course...
Don't look, Dos.
Oh, yeah, you
I
can't
can
look.
see
That's
that.
right.
Oh.
That is, of course, the
I'm not
joke of the
looking.
week.
All right, fellas. Jim Bob, you ready? Gotcha.
He wants the camera on him.
Come on, mate.
There we go.
Center of attention. This is my one time to shine.
This is the one thing he sort of preps for.
Well, during the podcast.
Don't know about that. I watched it.
Come on, Dos. Give me a chance. What kind of birds stick together? Velcros.
That's good.
Yes.
I liked it.
Well done.
Thanks, Dos.
All right, boys. That's a good end to the
Thanks,
week.
mate.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
You've christened the new setup with a successful joke. Sponsor reminder, of course, coastandsmoke.com.au. Get around them, code OUTBACK for all your barbecue rub needs. 4 Bros Coffee as well. Hot Takes Live on Insta. Follow that. I don't know if that ad came through clearly or not before. If it didn't, let us know in the comments. Subscribe to this show. Outback QB podcast on YouTube. And if you're just an audio listener, not just an audio listener, if you prefer to listen to the Spotify and Apple and you've been doing that for a long time, thank you. But check out the YouTube. You may have checked it out early when it didn't look as good as it does now. As of this week, I mean, this is a much greater production quality. So head over to our YouTube and watch us there if you haven't already. Next week's show, our week 2 review, right here at Musclecat Studios. Thank you, Dos.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Hawley.
Thank you, Curtis.
And thank you, Jim.
Thank
Great
you, Jim.
job. We will see
Producer Jim.
producer Jim, the Kansas
PJ.
City kid. We'll see you all next week.